to the CDC, or Center for Disease Control and Prevention, obesity in adults has increased by 60% in the past 20 years, and childhood obesity has more than tripled in the past 30 years. Obesity is not just about looking bad and feeling bad because you're fat. It is an epidemic. It is an epidemic that cannot be ignored because the consequences of negligence can be dire. Americans need to realize that obesity is a widespread problem that cannot just be solved by going on a diet. It is a life change. The CDC reported that between 2007 and 2008, 72.5 million Americans are already obese. Childhood obesity is another growing problem in U.S. households. Weight problems at such a young age expose children to diseases that normally only affect adults, and it also leads to adulthood obesity. Obesity affects individuals and society both financially as well as psychologically. It is very costly. Persistent TV commercials which advocate eating fast food and candy are not the only thing that is detrimental to children's health and their perception of food. Vending machines are highly available at public schools, and children who are not taught about healthy eating and physical exercise are unlikely to learn about it in school, where a great emphasis is not put on those two subjects. The National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey of 2007 to 2008 states that high BMI in children may also have immediate consequences, such as elevated lipid concentrations and high blood pressure. Since 1980, the prevalence of BMIs at or above the 95th percentile, also termed obese, have tripled among school-aged children and adolescents and remains high at approximately 17%. Between the two time periods of 1988 to 1994 and 2007 through 2008, the prevalence of obesity has increased amongst boys and girls. Just to cite some statistics, among non-Hispanic white boys, has increased from 11.6 to 16.7% and 10.7 to 19.8 among non-Hispanic black boys. For girls, the trend is similar, with an increase of 8.9% to 14.5% among non-Hispanic white girls and 16.3 to 29.2 among non-Hispanic black girls. This rise of childhood obesity is especially troubling because of the tendency of obese children to become obese adults. One study found that 80% of children overweight at the ages of 10 to 15 become obese by the age of 25. And 25% of obese adults were obese as children. If a child is obese before the age of 8, the obesity in adulthood is way more likely to be severe. Now, these rattling statistics show that the trend towards obesity is certainly on the rise. The unhealthy habits that are developed during childhood are more likely to continue on throughout adulthood, and this is what is causing many Americans to develop very serious health conditions. 33% of American adults are obese, and obesity-related deaths have risen to 300,000 per year, second only to the tobacco-related deaths. Even being overweight, which means a body mass index of more than 25, increases risks for coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, dyslipidemia, stroke, liver and gallbladder disease, sleep anemia and respiratory problems, osteoarthritis, as well as reproductive problems such as infertility. All of these conditions require medical attention, and a lot of them involve costly medical procedures that might have been avoided if obesity was regarded as a serious disease in America. The hospital fees for a patient with obesity-caused cancer, for example, could cause a family to go virtually bankrupt. Obesity is a costly venture, not only financially, but psychologically. Just feel bad if you're obese. And efforts should be made in schools as well as private homes to prevent this disease. To give the example of Umniaporn Tungrapai, an obese woman from Thailand who weighs in at 600 pounds, she said that she hasn't left her house for 3 years because of the way she looks. On May 20th, 2009, a 48-year-old woman from Indianapolis by the name of Teresa Smith died because of her obesity. She weighed in at over 700 pounds. According to the CDC, in 2008, obesity-related medical health costs were at $147 billion for American taxpayers. And in 2010, in a study done by John Cawley of Cornell University and Chad Meyerhofer of Lehigh University, concluded that obesity adds $2,800 to a person's medical bills. First Lady Obama said, 1 in 3 kids in our nation today are overweight or obese, and this figure increases for African American and Hispanic children. We've got to stop citing statistics and wringing our hands and feeling guilty and get going on this issue. Childhood obesity is a growing epidemic that must be addressed. The children of today are a generation of tomorrow. Obesity at any age really leads to various other health problems, including serious diseases such as cancer. This epidemic is causing our society millions of dollars, and awareness needs to be raised across the board, especially in schools, to prevent childhood obesity. A healthier population of kids today means a healthier population of adults tomorrow.